Hello everyone, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be integrating some scripts. So for example, if you, there's going to be like create train. This is probably a script that someone made that creates a train. So we're just going to be creating a script like that. So for example, if we go to window and then we can go to light mapping, and someone created this light mapping window. So we're going to be creating a window and we're going to pretty much do stuff to it. So put stuff inside it. So I saved this scene and call this scene obviously, and then created a C# script called a tutorial, and I've just got two headers that come with it, the script once you create it in Unity, and a class and its mono behavior, and it deleted everything inside that class since we're not going to be using it. So let's get started. The first thing I like to do is I like to include using Unity editor. So we're going to be using the editor tools. Remember, we imported the Unity engine and editor is different, and this is only in Unity editor. So since this is only in Unity editor, then if we built our game, this script would just give us an error because when we build it we don't have an editor and we can't edit anything. So we want to do if unity underscore editor, which just means only execute this when you're using the Unity editor, and you're going to do and if to end it off. You can put this outside since this doesn't uses the Unity engine, not the Unity editor or anything. So just saying. And after you've done that, we're going to go to our class, and since it says mono behavior and we're not going to be using mono behavior, we're going to be using editor window to because we're going to be doing we're going to be creating a little window here. So we're not going to use mono behavior, we're going to use editor window. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to display it in one of these menus. Okay, so what we can do is do menu item, and then in brackets we're going to type in, don't worry if it gives you an error, but let's just type in test and test/test. So test/test, and do square brackets all around it. And now we need to create a public static void and call it init. Let's just call it init. I don't actually think it matters what you call it, but let's just call it init. And after this script is loaded, did we do that? Yes, I think we did everything perfectly. So let's see. Oh, there we go. So we have test and there's a test inside it, so we can click that and nothing happens because we didn't tell it anything. So anything that will happen after we click it will be inside this function. So basically what you can do is window, you can make it so it's inside the window, so it should go away. Come on, did I save it? Yes, I did. Okay, I have no idea why it is doing that. This is actually quite annoying, but test is there and there's actually nothing in there. Maybe I have to refresh or do something. Just maybe restarting Unity will do, probably. So anyways, let's just keep it inside the instead let's call this tutorial. Now that will sure fix this. Oh, okay, never mind, we'll just have to restart Unity for that to go away. So as you can see, window and tutorial is inside it. Now when we click it, what I want to do is I want to display a window. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a private void on GUI, and we're going to tell it that only use the on GUI function if that if the person actually clicks on it, the tutorial button. So the way we do it is we're going to do tutorial, or in here, if you named your class something else, you're going to do the same name of your class. So tutorial, let's just call this window equals to, and then in these brackets we're going to type in tutorial editor window. I'll explain everything later. Dot get window, and let's type of tutorial. Okay, now let's just explain this. Now, first of all, we're creating a new, what do you call it, object, and I hope you know what object is. It's basically, if you want to access something, you create an object of it, so you can access it. So if you want to access a class called, let's just say, if you want to access a class called test, you would create a you would say test, since you're accessing that class, so test, and then you would just say, you would name it something like hi, and then you will make it equal to new test. Okay, now you created an object called hi, and which is pointing to the test class. Now you can do stuff to the test class, like call a function that's inside it if it's public, you know. So if there's a w function, we can call it like that. So a hi is basically the variable here. So now, since we created this, we're telling it we're get the window from the tutorial class, and tutorial class, this is the tutorial class. So it's basically gonna execute this. I hope you get what this means. So, and the type of basically just means we're getting the type, the class type of this tutorial, and we're just converting everything that's there to tutorial, so we can make it equal to window, because if we do that, it might just give us an error. You can also put as tutorial. It just does the same thing, but you know, I like that. Now we can do is window dot size, or max or min size. Min size equals to vector 2, and sorry, new vector 2. We can set the minimum size it can go to. Let's just set it to 400, 400, and let's set the window dot max size equal to new vector 2. Let's set this to 500, 500, just for experimenting and just for testing purposes. Okay, now let's test this. Okay, tutorial, as you can see, this window opened up, and I can make it go to 500, but I can't make it go more than that or less than that, and I can't go, I mean, I can make it go less than that, but I can't make it less than 400 by 400. So I can't make it more than 500 by 500 and less than 400 and 400. Now we can put stuff inside here, and we can do like if we can create a button. So GUI layout dot button, and we can say spawn something, and we can instantiate something. So instantiate, I don't know what we're gonna instantiate, so we'll just leave this empty. So, and then we can do vector 3.0 to instantiate at 0 position, and quaternion dot identity to make the rotation of it 0, 0, 0. So since the rotation is done using quaternions, and I don't know what we're gonna spawn here, so if we do, in fact, let's create a variable here. So our game object, and let's call this spawn equals to, if we do resources dot load load asset at path, and then we can give it a path asset, and it starts with asset because if we open this in Explorer, so these are all the files, so these are the same files. If I go back one, it's the assets folder, so we need to tell it this is where it starts from, the directory thing. So we need to tell it it's inside asset and then it's somewhere there. So it's going to be inside assets and then slash. Don't use the backslash just because it causes some problems, even if you put an at there. Normally if you put a backslash and then it thinks that you're gonna put like n there for new line or something like that, but if you put an at, then it doesn't think that, and for some reason sometimes it doesn't work, so you just use this slash. Okay, so slash, and let's create a cube and make it into a prefab. So since it's cube, I'll just copy the name cube, and then we need to type in dot prefab. I think that's what it's called. So let's show this in Explorer again, and there you go, dot prefab. In fact, let's just copy this all, and we shall replace this. Okay, now we're getting this cube prefab, and what we can do is we can make it so it spawns this cube prefab. So let's go back here, and what does it say? It takes one. Oh, okay, yes, obviously. Comma. I think we need a comma here. Yeah, type of. It requires a type, like what type of the thing that you're loading it with. We're loading a game object type. So for example, if you're loading an audio, like an audio file MP3, we're gonna type in like audio clip or something, you know. Okay, and another error. Okay, yes, I think we need to type in the same thing we did here to tell it that way it's a game object. Oh, okay, yes. So sorry, it's supposed to be type of. I actually haven't done programming in a while now, so let's just leave this there in case it asks. So there we go. Now let's go to window, tutorial, spawn some, and it spawned this cube, and it keeps spawning, as you can see. So really awesome stuff there. Now you can pretty much do anything you like with this. Like you can basically create your own like light mapping system if you like, you know. So the Unity people probably did that, but you can't really see their scripts because it's like built inside Unity. So I guess that is it for this tutorial, and I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll try to make more tutorials, but if you don't understand obviously anything, then just ask me and I'll try to explain it. And before we actually do end this, what I want to do is, let's see. Okay, well, never mind. I'll show you some other time. I was gonna show you something cool there, but it's okay. I'll show you another time. So see ya.